This time on Kawaii-Fi Radio, we're finally tackling the Fate series. Fate Stay Night, Fate Unlimited Bladeworks.
The long titles.
Unlimited Bladeworks is part of Stay Night.
Yeah.
So, like, you'd want to go, like, Last Encore, Apocrypha.
We're not doing that. And Aaron hits a KO with his dad joke.
That's a lion man.
Why?
Because he was lion.
No. Oh.
This is... You've killed Kenny. He's left the room.
It's over 9,000!
Configure the language logic interface for Japanese.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Konnichiwa and welcome. You're tuning into Kawaii-Fi Radio, the podcast we dive into the world of anime, manga, and all things otaku culture. I'm Kyle. With me is Aaron and Kenny, and they're being weird today.
Isn't that the norm?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're all weird here.
I'm like close to hungover, but not even. There was no alcohol. It sucks.
That does explain the light sensitivity.
Yeah.
Is it a migraine?
Could be.
It's like, oh, okay, so the glasses are going on, and he's joined the Darude Sandstorm video clip.
He's an early 2000s hacker.
Well, on the note of the early 2000s, this episode we're diving into the world of Fate. That's it, Fate. Fate Stay Night, Fate Unlimited Bladeworks.
The long titles.
There's
Unlimited
a lot.
Bladeworks is part of Stay Night.
Yeah.
So, like, you'd want to go, like, Last Encore, Apocrypha.
We're not doing that. We'll get it.
We'll
We'll
lightly
explain.
touch them.
But we're looking at the Fate Stay Night franchise as a whole, and going to try and give you like understanding of the base of it, if
Give
that
us-
makes sense.
Or confuse you further.
Give us a crash course. Try to help us to understand this mess.
Well, we're going to go through this step by step. Aaron has a book. He's written some notes, and we're going to kind of try and walk through this so that we have an idea of it. But it all stems from a video game, a visual novel from 2004, which we'll get stuck into. Now, if you are new to the podcast, welcome, and to all our regular listeners, hello. Hope you've been keeping well. We're on YouTube. If you're watching there, hi. You can see us. I've got my awesome Evangelion 30th anniversary shirt on from Japan, which I'm very pleased about. The Patreons in Japan, especially Tohsaka, took us out and showed me where the Evangelion store was, and I bought things.
Tohsaka's the MVP.
Yeah. If you are
Sounds like
enjoying...
a champ. I'm jealous that you guys got to meet him.
Yeah, he's a champ as his partner. Now, if you are enjoying what we're doing, Patreon, this pre-show had a lot of goofy stuff in it, including suggestions on retro gaming. So there you go.
And the
talk-
music industry.
And the music industry. Yeah, we won't go into that. It's pretty
Spicy.
awful. Yeah. But anyway, all details in the episode description. We're going to get started with what we've been watching.
I have no idea how old I am or where I came from.
Daddy! Ohio!
Take time! I gotta go!
I have to know! Hooray! I did the thing!
Oni-chan, nani wo miru? What we're watching. All right, so Aaron, what have you been watching the past fortnight? Oh, right, yeah. Right.
Compass 2.0, the animation.
Not just Compass 2.0. Hashtag Compass 2.0.
It starts with a hashtag, so I'm already worried.
Yeah. No, that's entirely valid.
So this was one that you suggested as a possible, like, the bones sounded good when it was written down.
Yes.
As part of the pre-season preview, but you've since watched it and no?
No. So it's taken a lot of ideas and very poorly put them together. So, like,
Okay.
it's Compass is a video game where you've got a team of 3 heroes either side, and they're trying to capture flags to win the game.
Okay, so like a 3 versus 3 battle sort of game style thing.
Yep.
Shooter or...
They've all got different skills, different styles. Like, there's a big American guy in a massive suit of armor with a shield.
Now, just to confirm, when you say it's video game styled, it's in the real world, or they log in online, like
They log
virtual
in
reality
online.
type thing?
But it's real to the characters.
Oh,
Because the characters are more than just characters. They're like actual
AI
people.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're controlled by one player either side. And, like, you know, they play their game, and that's sort of how they keep currency and blah, 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 blah. There's one character in particular that refuses to side with any player. and he's in a lot of trouble because he just refuses to. They've taken away his weapon. They're constantly chasing him. He's causing trouble for everyone. And then one day, a bunch of bugs come in and start infecting their world. And the AI that runs the entire game world is like, hey, look, if you don't get a player now, I'm deleting you. And so he panics and sends invites out to all the players. Only one player accepts, and it's like the newest player. But they get along really well, and they've got a good sync rate.
There's already a lot of things being thrown in here that like just overly complicate this.
Yeah, and that's within 2 episodes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like, you know, how you've got the 11-year-old you who's like, I'm going to write a story and it's going to have all my favorite things in it.
Yeah.
This is what it sounds like.
Well, given the difference in the playable characters, it makes sense that an 11-year-old would create it because they're like, I like this character. You can make your own character if you want for my story.
This sounds like all the stuff pulled out of their toy box.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I think 11-year-olds being a little bit too old. I think this is probably like 5.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, toy
because
box.
11-year-olds and 10-year-olds can actually critically think to an extent because they've been in education for about 4 or 5 years at that point.
Yeah.
5-year-old, not so much.
American 11-year-old.
Oh, God. No, we don't do that here. Anyway, Compass 2.0.
We suck.
Do not recommend.
Do not recommend. So look, basically, it's just like tried to grab every single cliche and
Yeah, and the fact that it's got the animation in the title leads me to believe that they're going to try and make a mobile game.
Wait,
oh yeah,
does the main character look like Kirito?
No, the main character's like this little tiny avatar with like a massive head. Just like all the other
like a
players.
me.
Yeah, basically. And they just sort of float around behind the characters.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's weird.
It's
So this is like basically trying to take a gacha element game where you're fielding heroes and give it.
I don't think it's supposed to be gacha in the anime, but I feel like they're going to make the game gacha.
100%. If anyone does know what Compass 2.0 is, please sound off in the comments. Like, if there is a game that's been released in a region that's not Australia because we haven't gotten it yet, clearly, let us know if it is like a legit thing. I'm just knocking things over.
You know what? I can check real quick if you want.
Have a look.
I got
It
KQuuuuuux.
sounds floopy. Like, I could see why certain things like that would attract people.
I mean, I do know that when we were looking at it in the preseason show, it was saying that, yes, this is based on a game, but it didn't suggest the game was released yet at the time. So maybe the game landed with the anime?
Let me check. Compass. Oh, hey, there it is. Hashtag Compass Japanese. It's so much worse.
Oh, that's...
Yeah. So, like, it's
Yeah.
obviously gacha mechanics are going to be part of it. I'm guessing it's...
One of the comments on it is, please make English version language. Please make offline. Download and loading was too long. Sometimes screen picture would show white or black. Size was too big for low specification smartphone. Please make music like melody only. Sometimes movement player was error. Please fix this. The game ain't doing too well. Although overall it's got a 4.5, so...
But that's probably because it's early and it's given people lots of free stuff, I'd say.
it's marketed to the kind of people that play gacha games.
This
and
is
they
true.
have low standards. Fight me in the comments.
No, I wouldn't say necessarily gacha players have low standards. They just have low impulse control.
Yes.
Like that's their target demographic, people who are willing to spend money. And that's not to say that all gacha players have low impulse control, but that is their target. They want you to spend money. That's why they have those rates.
I might be a gacha player.
Why?
I've been spending money on the Conan Exiles cash shop.
Oh, yeah, you might be a gacha player.
They're shiny though.
See, impulse control.
this has
do
been
not play gachas.
out
I can
since
build my own video
2018. At least.
What?
There's reviews from 2018.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All
So
right.
that's...
Well, so it hasn't improved in that time. Good to know. Maybe their player base is falling off, and this is a way to get them
does
to...
just say hashtag Compass, so 2.0 might be them remaking it.
Oh, that'll make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, Compass 2.0, do not watch, do not play.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I've been watching your Forma, which
My Forma?
yes. I'm not too-
Transformer?
No.
Anime is in disguise. Have you seen the Ninja Turtles anime?
No.
The 2000 one?
I'll show you later.
Okay. Anyway, your Forma is very much... I thought I was going to like this, and I do. It's very much like a urban cyberpunk dystopian story. So there's been a mega virus which it's set in kind of like the late 90s, early 2000s. But there was a pandemic in like the 80s. And as part of that pandemic, technology had to advance at an astonishing rate to, counteract it and provide people the supports they needed afterwards.
I have questions.
Basically, people have, like, ignoring the silliness around that, people have, like, inbuilt, like, what's the call, like augmented reality. So like, you'll be in a shopping center and you can see like, adverts from the shops for like, this one has 20% off at the moment and stuff like that. It's really, jarring. So this is a series set in that sort of period where there's a girl and her android companion who's an AI who are part of a cyber police squad, and they're going around. They can dive into people's memories because everyone's got this Neuralink sort of type thing in them to find out and to solve crimes. So basically in the first episode, her robot companion who, like, there's definitely a thing where it's like she doesn't like these androids for some reason, which is typical, but between the two of them, like, no one else can sync well with her to do these dives into people's memory. Like, they burn out too quickly, or they can't keep up with how quickly she's jumping through things. So she gets partnered with this android, and he gets accused of murdering because it turns out he's part of a set of 3 new range androids. He's the middle brother. The older brother shot at a human. It wasn't an actual human. It was a hologram of them, but like it thought it was a real person. So he's being deactivated and he's being assessed. And the younger brother of the trio is missing. So they think that all 3 of them are capable of breaking, the rules of robotics. Do not hurt a human. So they assume it's him that has committed these crimes, that they're saying, yeah, there's an android that has gone around. It looks similar to him because it's got a similar hairstyle and all that from what they saw underneath the things. But it might actually be like a 4th android, or it could be the brother. There are distinctive features that mean that it's not him. And he was under observation this whole time when these things were happening.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's really interesting.
That's a good mystery.
It just didn't, like, this is all in the first episode. So, like, they do a really good job of panning it out well. There are moments of it where it feels in the first episode like a bit of data overload. But once you get past it, it makes a lot of sense very quickly. Sort of a bit like how Fate data dumps a bit in Fate Zero. Like, once you get past it, and then you start seeing those elements in action, it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, look, I'm really excited to watch the rest of it. I've only caught 1 episode so far. I'm probably going to binge the rest tonight. It's good. It definitely reminds me like someone got a Ghost in the Shell sort of style for character stylation, and then mixed it with Ergo Proxy for like the storytelling and the diving into people's memories, and definitely the artwork style for like when they've got like text on the screen or for like the eye catches, and that is very Ergo Proxy. Like it's, that kind of like gothic style of
Cyberpunk.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Emphasis on the punk. Yeah.
Yeah, if you like cyberpunk, this has definitely got that vibe going for it. It's not going to be like gritty like Edge Runners, but it's definitely like more Ghost in the Shell urban fantasy style.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen more cyberpunk since the
Well,
game.
what was that one we started watching?
Or recently?
Yeah.
The
The one that was sort of like Cowboy Bebop-y.
Oh, Lazarus. Yeah, we need to catch up on Lazarus. We're quite behind on that. I think we watched 3 episodes. 2?
I thought it was just 1.
I definitely know we watched. Oh, maybe I watched episode 2 on my own. But we have to catch up on that. Lazarus is really good from what we've seen so far.
It's good.
Cowboy Bebop, like creator, so like yeah, but
I had expectations and they've been met.
Like it's very much like riffing off his original ideas of his old shows, in a good way, not in a like way. But yeah. Anyway,
yeah, kind of back to his roots, back to classics.
Yeah, but yeah, your Forma, Crunchyroll, pretty sure from memory. I keep forgetting what I watch stuff on, because I've got a system which just like. Anyone who's got Google TV knows that it'll just grab it and put it up on the screen and go, hey, your new episode of this is out. Okay, awesome, cool. I don't know what service that's on. Kenny, you caught the first episode of Gundam Cukes.
No, I've been watching that time I was reincarnated as a local political cameraman, and there is no escape.
That's right. For those unaware, Kenny works in the
Media sector.
Yeah, and we had 2 elections back to back here in Australia.
And then a massive political spill.
Yeah.
I haven't slept yet. Coffee is my only friend.
That makes so much sense.
Coffee is my only liquid friend.
Hey. I'm not liquid.
I'm 70% liquid, thank you.
Wow, he jiggles.
It's a slime. He's been reincarnated as a slime.
Yeah, no, you've had a heck of a run.
Yes, I did end up watching Gundam GQuuuuuux.
What do you think? Art style's pretty wacky, right?
I dig it. The art style kind of gives me a bit of Trigger vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Which
You get triggered?
I got triggered by the Trigger vibes.
God.
We're feeling trigger happy.
Apparently, yeah.
It's like it's following, regular kind of Gundam tropes. Mm-hmm. It follows
No,
the kind
to a
of
T.
Yeah.
very, very same story elements, but the kind of the character design and the animation style. I like these mains.
It's got like
I'm intrigued by them.
splashes of like Studio Trigger to it, even though it's been animated and run by Anno, who's from Gainax and now Studio Kara.
Mm-hmm.
But remember that Trigger also came from Studio Gainax.
So yeah, there is a touch of that genetic just spliced in there, and I dig the style.
Yeah.
The main characters are fun enough.
I mean, this is going to be Yuri again, and I'm not complaining.
Is that going to become the new meta for all Gundams now? They're just all going to be Yuri.
I don't think so. I think they're trying this as kind of like a way to make them seem a little less masculine targeted.
Yeah,
so by having female leads, not necessarily the Yuri element. I don't know if this is going to go down the Yuri path, but it's obviously like there's 2 female characters who are going to become close, like happened in
Mercury.
Witch of Mercury,
Which was fun.
Yeah, and
It had many things that were questionable about its setting. I'm still reasonably sure they murdered a couple of people and just tossed their bodies out the airlock.
Yeah, so because it's in space, it's like, and you never saw these characters again. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, the last thing you see of them is a girl smashing one of them so hard her head whips back and smacks against the pavement.
Yeah.
And then you never see them again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Murder is legal on the space station.
I mean, it's international waters, technically.
Yar! Piracy be that call of the day, yar.
So, yeah.
There should be a pirate Gundam, yar.
Oh, there probably is. Like
Be there, pirate Gundam.
The comics have stupid Gundam things.
You've seen Mariachi Gundam.
Yes.
Isn't there a horse Gundam?
There is a horse
There's
Gundam.
a kangaroo Gundam.
There's a kangaroo Gundam.
Piloted by a
kangaroo.
kangaroo. Which has...
It has a Joey rocket in the pouch, which is also piloted by its Joey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're from the moon, so they're super smart.
This
Anime on the moon, Kenton.
This would all be strange to me if I hadn't just watched Girls on Panzers, where one of the Australian tanks is led by the koala.
Yeah, that's fair, actually.
A psychic koala. That show was fun.
Oh, look, we gave Girls and Panzers so much like grief for a long time, and then we watched it. We went, "How is this so good?"
Yeah.
I liked the maid cafes in that, where everyone was just dressed as tank commanders.
Yeah, like I am happy to be wrong. Like I'm happy to watch stuff and be wrong because it means there's more good stuff to watch.
It was so bloody stupid. I adore it.
It's great. But yeah, look. Anyway, GQuuuuux is also in Crunchyroll as well. I believe Compass 2.0. We're not going to tell you where it is. Don't watch it.
It's on Crunchy if you want to torture yourself.
No.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
I think I watched that as a kid.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Back Catalogue.
All right, kids.
Buckle in.
Yeah, get your pen and paper ready. We've got some notes to give you.
We're going to quiz you on this later.
I was going to bring you the bloody lab coat.
It's okay.
Oh, right, we forgot the lab coat. And we need like the board.
Where the hell is the whiteboard?
I was actually going to grab my hoodie and just look like a pink jellyfish the entire time. Like, no.
All right, so look, let's start from the very beginning to give the context, and then Aaron can start building the story world. So Fate Stay Night started out as a Japanese visual novel developed by TypeMoon. TypeMoon, you might know from a number of video games they've made. They're kind of like they did Tsukihime, so like Moonlit Fantasy,
Melty Blood.
They made their own sort of universe of edgy, dramatic animes.
The TypeMooniverse.
Yeah, and they all overlap in some of their comedy shows where they, just throw all the characters in together. But Fate itself is a critical success for them. It has become their golden goose. It's the same as Gainax's Evangelion for them, basically.
It's like the center of their universe.
Yeah. So it focuses on a young mage called Shirou Emiya, who becomes a warrior in a battle between mages, masters and servants, known as the Holy Grail War. And the game is a visual novel, so it has 3 distinct routes that you head down, and each of those routes has been adapted into an anime in some shape or form, which is why people are confused and why we were confused as well, because we're like, we know it's a visual novel, but we're kind of used to the way they adapted things like Higurashi, where they just kind of re-looped and re-looped and re-looped. This, you can't reloop this.
They call me mad, but I'm a fan of a story which has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So,
and this does, but the problem is
multiple.
We didn't know where to start.
That's a lie.
And that's why you got Aaron here.
Aaron, explain.
Yep.
Okay, so obviously the diehard fans of Fate, they all say start with the visual novel, experience it yourself.
Yeah.
However, if you can't get it or you don't feel like playing a visual novel because you're not big on visual novels, don't worry, I get you. I feel the same way.
Fair.
So you start with Fate Stay Night.
Oh.
Just Fate Stay Night.
So even though Fate Zero is kind of like
The
prequel,
prequel.
which explains the background, Fate Stay Night
But
does
it
explain
spoils the ending.
It also doesn't explain a lot of things that needs explanation in Fate Stay Night.
Oh.
So you watch Fate Stay Night, which is Emiya's route, where he romances Saber and he wins the Holy Grail.
So
War.
that is the Fate route.
That is the Fate route.
Now the 3 routes have 3 different names: Fate, Unlimited Bladeworks, and Heaven's Feel.
Yeah, based on different things that happen in them. Now, after watching Fate Stay Night, you go back to Fate Zero. And then you've got a lot more understanding. You sort of understand what happens. And it's like watching Star Wars and then watching the prequels.
That makes sense, actually.
Okay, yes.
So you watch Fate Stay Night, the original, because then you have a self-contained storyline without any of that, there's different paths.
Yep.
But then go back to Fate Zero to then be the launch-off point to watch the other paths.
Yes, to get character
Okay.
backstory, to understand more things, but also so that you know, like, you've already had a lot of Fate explained to you in Fate Stay Night.
Okay.
So let's go back to the very core. So what is the principle of the Fate series?
So the principle of the Fate series is there's a Holy Grail War.
Okay, and Holy Grail is in like the Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail, like the cup Jesus drank from.
I have so many things I could say about this, but I'm not gonna.
Does it have Indiana Jones?
No.
That is actually a little bit of a surprise. It has every
Well, I
other
feel like it would have been an IP issue.
Yeah, well, he's also not a historical figure. He's
Well, they also have
Right.
fictional characters.
Oh, okay.
Like Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
but public domain. So
Yes,
Yeah.
but public domain. So yeah.
And okay, so a thing we should cover with this is that a bunch of the characters in this are based on historical figures, and a whole lot of them are just gender flipped for reasons.
Not just that. Kyle, I'm going to get you to do me a little favor here.
Okay.
Look up Thomas Edison, Fate Go.
Okay, Thomas Edison, as
Thomas
in the
Edison as in-
inventor of the light bulb.
Yes.
Well,
Fate go.
a businessman is responsible for patenting the light bulb.
Yeah, true. So just to clarify, Fate Go is Fate Grand Order, the mobile game. Let's have a look. Thomas Edison. What the heck is that?
That's a lion man.
Why?
Because he was lion.
No. Oh.
This is. You've killed Kenny. He's left the room. He's done. Okay, so while we wait for Kenny to calm down and come back, for those who are listening as opposed to watching, he looks like a lion-headed version of All Might. So it's All Might with a white lion, Kimber the White Lion as his head. It is, it's cool.
It's cool. Don't get me
But
wrong.
like, what is that got to do with Thomas
It
Edison?
looks like a side character from Invincible.
It looks
It
like
does
a
look like
stand.
Battle Beast.
It looks like his understudy. It looks like his
Yep.
the guy who takes his mantle. Why is this?
I actually wanted to make this into a little bit of a game later on and be like, say a historical figure, and look up their name with Fate go up.
Well,
HP Lovecraft.
No, we'll come back to it, but keep that one in the pocket. So we're getting off track. So
We're getting off track.
So it's a war for the Holy Grail.
Yep,
Is it a one-off?
So the Holy Grail War is something that happens every 60 years.
Okay.
Because that's how long it takes for the Holy Grail to recover from granting a wish, which is the whole point in the war, to be able to get your wish from the Grail.
So this is a Shenron situation. Whatever you wish, granted, yeah?
Yes.
But only one wish.
Only one wish.
Okay.
And so
And you can't wish for more wishes.
No.
Can you wish for the genie's lamp?
No.
Damn it.
So the Holy Grail War was started by the three big mage families, the Ironsburns, the Tohsakas, and the...
I mean, in Japanese, Tohsaka makes sense, but in English, the Tohsakas,
Sounds a bit Quentin Tarantino.
yeah.
and the Matos. And,
Tomatoes, yes.
the reason the war started was because they created the Holy Grail to get their wish, but then they discovered only one person could make a wish. So the Holy Grail War was set up so that they could decide who was worthy of having that wish.
Okay.
They didn't just agree to share it every...
They didn't agree to
I wish
share.
for infinite wishes.
So the Holy Grail's answer to that was a war where it will produce 7 servants to serve under 7 mages.
Right.
Is this sort of implying that the Holy Grail is somewhat sentient?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's bad.
Is the Holy Grail a physical item or a being?
it's a physical item,
Okay.
but it does have its own sentience.
Don't make the magical or granting wish thing sentient. That's a bad idea.
That's an incredibly bad idea.
It's a
we'll
very
get
bad
more
idea.
into that later.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
So,
okay, they actually covered that. Good.
Yes.
so
yes.
So you've got the 3 families, and then I'm guessing 4 randos?
Yes, basically. And the 3 families are very egotistical because they're like, oh, we always win. We don't have to worry about the 4 others that get summoned. You know, they're whatever. But they actually give them a good run for their money sometimes.
Okay.
You were going to say something?
Well, I'm guessing Shirou is a random. He's not associated
Shirou?
with any of those 3 families.
Kind of is a random. But like, yeah, it's very hard to explain. Basically, he got inspired by the Ironsburns, because the person who got him into the war and did some things to him was married to an Ironsburn,
Okay.
and he's got a younger sister who is an Ironsburn.
Oh, okay. So not actual younger sister, but
Yeah,
like stepsister or / believes to be sister.
yeah, she calls him Big Brother. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Checks out.
It's practical Japanese, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got they're fighting for the Grail every 60 years.
Yep.
They get a wish if they win the war. I'm assuming is it physical combat?
So it's typically it's done between the servants, because if you don't have a servant, you are now out of the running.
Each of the competitors is gifted a humanoid Pokemon to fight.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's
But-
the easiest explanation I've ever heard.
Because they're humans, they have their own sentience, their own desires. So the masters get given 3 crests to control them, so they can make them do things that are against their will, but that will then agitate that servant and make them like less compliant, and it complicates the relationship.
Wait, so 3 crests is that like you use them up, basically?
Yeah.
You can use them up, or you can sort of persuade your servant.
Oh.
But if you can't persuade them, you use the crest.
What happens if you run out of crests?
The servant can do whatever they want.
Oh.
They are now free.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So the masters typically avoid using any, just in case.
Okay. And the masters are these 7 competitors.
The masters are the 7 competitors.
Okay.
And typically the 7 servants that are summoned are Saber, Archer, Lancer, Rider, Caster, Assassin, and Berserker.
So there's 7 classes of servants. Random.
Incorrect. There are not 7 classes of servant.
Oh,
These are just the common
There are
ones.
14 classes of servant.
well, that's double. So is there like the dark version of them?
No.
Oh.
So the other 7 classes
Black mage, white mage, painter.
are Pretender, Alter Ego, Foreigner, Ruler, Moon Cancer, Avenger, and Shielder.
You made up some of those words.
And they're all in rock, paper, scissors format.
Oh, wow. Okay. I notice you've got Berserker and Shield.
Shielder in their own little thing. So
None of these words
Berserker-
are in the Codex Astartes.
Berserker is both strong and weak against everything.
Glass cannon.
Yes. Because, like, obviously, as a berserker, you're going to be effective, but you're not going to put anything into your defense.
Yeah, that's fair.
Shielder, however, is the polar opposite of that.
They put everything into defense, so they can't do much damage.
Yes.
I've seen that anime.
Yeah, yeah. A good anime, actually.
So there are 14 classes.
Okay. So we're gonna make sense of this. So there's 7 mages, and they can get any of these 14 classes.
Yes.
But those 7 that you mentioned first are the core classes.
Yes. They're the ones that exist in Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night.
Okay.
Those series. Apocrypha adds Ruler.
Okay.
Last Encore is the 7 regular 7s. There's a lot.
Just to confirm, these ones we're talking about are not part of the core visual novel story. These are spin-offs and other games.
Yeah. So don't worry about them. They're mostly present in Fate Go.
Oh, okay.
Like, especially like Moon Cancer, Pretender, Foreigner.
Moon Cancer is a heck of a name.
Right?
What's the Moon Cancer's deal?
I don't know what the Moon Cancer deal is.
You play Fate Go.
I know.
Okay.
But
Give us an example of like what one of the Moon Cancers
one of the Moon
is.
Cancers is, who's that elephant god from Indian mythology?
Oh, has
Vishnu?
Is it?
So.
No, it's not Vishnu. It's just look up Fate Go elephant Indian god.
I should know this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
should know this one as well.
There's
I
so
love her.
many Hindu gods though. It's
Like,
just, it's
she's
madness.
chubby and beautiful, and I love her because her whole thing is she loves eating dumplings and napping.
Oh, Ganesh.
Ganesh.
Ganesh, yes.
Okay,
Sorry,
that makes sense.
That really should have been easy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I haven't been watching Denmachi recently, so I forgot all of the Greek gods and the other ones that they use in that, which is also used in Fate.
Fate also
Okay.
takes liberties with the whole gender swapping because, like, one of the main characters ones is the Saber, who is King Arthur, who is a blonde
Yep.
girl.
Wow.
And this upsets
Okay.
my ancestry.
So, well, we're going to stay in the realms of the Fate Stay Night first game because this is the core of it, and then you spread off to everything else.
Yeah.
So,
literally.
literally.
everything else.
So you've got the 7 classes in that. Saber is both a class and a character name in this case.
So typically, especially if the servant doesn't believe that the master is strong enough, they don't reveal their true name.
oh,
Because your true name exposes what your noble phantasm is. And your noble phantasm is either what's historically known as your strongest attack or your strongest weapon, or your strongest resource.
Okay. So, like, Excalibur for Prince Arthur.
Yes.
Yeah.
So obviously, if someone goes
King
around
Arthur.
calling themselves King Arthur, you're going to go, oh, you've got Excalibur. So they call themselves Saber predominantly, if like just for safety's sake.
Yeah.
But obviously, like if they're in private, they will call them Arthur.
Yeah. So just to also clarify, like a lot of these characters in Fate Go, because it kind of mixes things up to make things new, there are alternate versions. So there's a Saber who is Prince Arthur, calls themselves Saber, but is a Lancer. Like, so it gets really confusing in
Wait,
Fate
what?
Go. This doesn't apply to Fate Stay Night, the game.
So King
Yeah.
Arthur also has a ruler form that is a bunny girl at a casino.
See, and these are just an excuse for that gacha mechanic
This
in Fate Go.
upsets my ancestry.
There's also an evil King Arthur that's a little girl that is Santa.
That's why we get the mini version of her at Christmas?
Yes. Actually, no, that's incorrect. That's Nero. Claudius Nero.
no.
Wow.
Yes, who is known as Saber of Red.
Oh,
What?
right.
Yes.
No.
That's Fate Apocrypha. So we're
So-
not touching that.
Okay, so basically, if you want to get into the Fate franchise, start with Fate Stay Night.
Start with Fate
to get
Stay
the,
Night.
the basis of it, and then each series adds different elements to it.
So
Yes.
is this trying to connect Nero with King Arthur because I might burn Rome?
So TypeMoon has something that's known as Saberface, which is a lot of the characters have the same face as Saber.
Saberface, I've got a nose, which is a sword.
So quite often a lot of their characters will look like King Arthur, even though they're not. Because they've got the same face, because TypeMoon only knows how to draw like 3 different faces.
That's just lazy.
And so you've also got Rin face,
Yep.
and you've got Sakura face.
Okay.
which are the 3 routes in Fate Stay Night.
In Fate, yeah,
I'm
okay.
entirely too headachy for this.
So you watch Fate Stay Night, you get the basics of it.
Yeah.
You watch Fate Zero, you understand the backstory of it. It explains a bit more of the details of the Holy Grail War, everything that's going on. Then you watch Fate Unlimited Bladeworks.
Which is an alternative route, and that's the Rin?
That's the Rin story. So that goes more into who Emiya is meant to become,
Okay.
without spoiling too much.
Having watched a bit of the abridged series, that stuff has been hinted to me, but is still very confusing.
Yeah, no. See, I'm going to leave it that way so that you can enjoy the story.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know
it's-
if I can.
No, it's genuine.
It is pretty
Unlimited
good.
Blade Works, my favorite Fate story.
I've also heard Unlimited Blade Works is one of the best.
Yes.
So, there you
It's
go.
beautiful animation, beautiful storytelling. Sure, Emiya Shirou doesn't win the Holy Grail War.
What was it?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What?
The winner does not matter.
Also, it's worth mentioning that all these are animated by UFO Table, who, if their name doesn't ring your bell, that's Demon Slayer now.
Yeah.
So all of their work is that pretty.
Like,
Yeah.
say what you will about Demon Slayer, they can animate a good scene.
Oh,
They
yeah.
can animate a good sword fight,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is what Fate is.
Yeah, which is where
Yeah,
they got the
this-
chops to do it from.
This I have seen is that all of the fight scenes in this are ballistic.
You should watch Saber Alta versus Hercules.
Okay.
I just want to now start playing the Hercules song
Who
from
is greatest
the
gladiator?
Hercules.
The fight is beautiful. It's unfortunate, though, that it's in the Heavens Feel series.
Wait, is that the Berserker or?
Yes, Hercules is the Berserker in Fate Stay Night.
Oh, okay. I was
Heaven's
wondering.
Feel requires some trigger warnings, like legitimate
It's all
trigger,
trigger
warning.
warnings. There's a lot of, can I say SA?
Yeah.
You just said
Yeah.
SA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at SA. If you
Yeah.
know what SA is, you
Yeah.
know that. But if you're under 15, do not watch Heaven's Feel.
It will traumatize you.
It's not a good, like, you need to be in a very specific mindset for it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's got a lot involved in it, which is just not safe for work, and it's definitely the darkest of the 3 routes in the
Yeah.
game. And they animated last for that reason, because they did not think it would be popular, because that's why it's 3 films instead of an actual series.
yeah, because
Yeah.
No.
I mean a little bit, but mostly like it's dark.
Like
Yeah.
non-consent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, not
that's-
just that,
Yeah,
but
but-
like the storyline, like everything that can go wrong does go wrong.
Yeah. It's literally the "why do you keep kicking me" story.
Is this like
Yeah.
when you play the visual novel and you just make every terrible choice and roll every one?
No, it's the visual novel when you go for the cute girl who's very shy and very sweet and then turns out not to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
Doki Doki Literature Club. Got
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
Exactly that.
Like Doki Doki Literature
Why
Club.
am I right about that?
Because
That's bad.
Doki Doki Literature Club was inspired by Fate and by Higurashi.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah.
In Doki Doki, was it Yuri who was the purple haired one? Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's Sakura.
Yeah.
That's straight up Sakura.
Okay, bad.
Yeah, I think it was Yuri. But either way, the purple head one, yeah.
Yeah, no,
it's,
that-
it's bad. It's
yeah.
bad. Do not.
Bad time.
But yeah, like this
If
is,
you enjoyed Doki Doki,
you will love this.
If you enjoy Doki Doki, leave.
Get some help. I'm gonna go get some help.
no, that's a good call.
Let's do get help.
But yeah, look, I love that game.
So, like, in Fate, if you want a specific hero, because to summon a hero, you have to do a ritual.
But before we jump into the ritual, so do the heroes stay after the war finishes? So that's a it depends.
That's a depends on how much you want me to give away.
Okay, cool. We won't go into that. All right, so as you said, the heroes have to be summoned.
The heroes have to
Oh
be
no!
summoned
Did one
via
of them?
a ritual.
Did one of them use the wish to wish for a waifu?
No.
Good.
One of them. What? Yeah. No.
No spoilers.
Yeah. You do a ritual to summon a hero, and you can add certain phrases to that to impact it, or you can use what did I word? Catalyst.
Oh, okay.
From that hero.
Now this applies both to Fate Stay Night the game and to all other versions of Fate. So
Except
So-
for Fate Go.
except for Fate Go.
So if you have an item that belongs to King Arthur, is a girl,
Such as Excalibur's sheath, which they use.
then you put that in a ritual and it changes things up.
Yes.
Okay.
It increases your chance of summoning King Arthur, but
It won't give you King Arthur for certain.
so you might get a Saber class, but it might not be King Arthur.
Oh, this is the gacha mechanic. This is to
Yeah.
boost
And
percentage chance on
this
your
is
rolls.
where their idea for Go came from. Like,
Gotcha.
And for example, to summon a rider from Fate Zero, who was Iskander, that's his local name. I don't know if you know the translation for that one. One of the great Macedonian conquerors.
Genghis Khan?
No.
Alexander.
Alexander.
Oh,
Yes.
Macedonian, not the other one. What's the one north of
Mongolia.
Not Mongolian. Yeah, that's why I was getting confused.
Yeah.
I shouldn't get confused.
Is Genghis Khan? What,
I need to know.
I don't think Genghis Khan's in there.
what?
Probably too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so is the rest to someone. Henry V.
So let's see. Oh yeah.
I'm having a look for Alexander the Great in Fate Stay.
No,
Heinz
you've got to
Farias.
type in Iskander. Because if you look up
Young-
Alexander the Great, it comes up as young Alexander, who's this little twinky child who you can't tell if it's a boy or a girl. But that
appeals
being
to
said,
a
did you know that Alexander the Great died in his mid-30s?
What? Like really?
Yeah,
Really?
man conquered half the world in his just around his early 20s.
Oh.
And then, yeah, because that's the fun thing about Fate. It also teaches you about these people.
Huh.
It's a fascinating history reading about him because half the history is interlaced with mythology, saying that he was a child of certain gods and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
he could
but,
talk
like-
to animals.
Nothing could prove you wrong back then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, Iskander's cool.
Iskander is a beefy, tanky-looking guy.
Looks nothing like him, but yeah.
No, see, I want to cosplay him because I loved him in Fate Zero.
Yeah.
And the more that I'm rewatching Fate Zero, the more I'm like, yeah, this guy's
Is it
cool.
bad that I was just expecting a busty waifu? Because that's my experience with all the male to female character translations.
Well, not all of them are male to female. Some of them stay male, some of them stay female.
Who decides these things? I wish to
TypeMoon.
I wish to have talks with them. I wish to duct tape them to a chair and make them explain this.
Who's another one that's male to female? There's another good one that I wanted to get you with.
More.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Isn't
later.
what's his name? Sherlock Holmes male to female?
No.
No.
Leonardo da Vinci is
Leonardo
though.
da Vinci is there.
That I've seen, yes. I saw the meme for that.
Leonardo da Vinci is cute, and I don't know why.
That needs to be an anime on its own.
It's. I saw someone showing how many results there are for Leonardo da Vinci on Rule 34, and it scared me.
Yeah. But basically, the
Wait,
heroes...
can we say that? Sorry.
Yeah, it's too late. It's been said.
Yeah.
But fair. I mean, at least she looked somewhat Italian with the dark hair and the blue eyes.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
she also gay? There was implications that.
Well, I mean, we were discussing this, and I was saying some of them, because as you said, there is that implication that Leonardo da Vinci and Shakespeare both had boy lovers as well as female partners, so they were bi.
Shakespeare's in there as well.
Yeah.
what
And-
did they do to him?
He's male, don't worry, he's
What
fine.
did they do to my boy?
I think you'd actually like his
Does
design.
he have the moustache?
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
I
Wow,
could
that's
see
a
you-
very specific
That's
hill.
all that matters to me.
No, he's got a full chin strap beard and everything.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think
Does,
you'd like
does he
his
have the
design.
neck ruff?
No.
Well, I'm playing footsie.
Look how they massacred my boy!
He carries a book though, and that's his noble phantasm.
That's kind of cool.
Which book is it?
I don't know, but he's a caster type.
I would say it's probably one of the ones that would never finished because he'll still be writing it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that kind of plays into how his noble phantasm works.
Oh, there you
But
go.
each
Trippy.
of the characters that gets resurrected for the Holy Grail War has their own purpose for being there because they also desire a wish.
Ah.
For example, Arthur wishes that Britain didn't fall after his reign.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And everyone.
So basically, if Arthur makes that wish, then the entire world just alters and changes
yeah,
to
basically.
be more British.
Well, because
Back to the colonial era, peasants.
No, it's pre-colonial because Prince Arthur's tale was before. Sorry, I keep saying that. King Arthur's rule in the theology idea was
Is-
before the Norman invasion.
Before the Empire and all that.
Yeah, so it would be Gaelic, which would be cool.
Well, that's the thing. They also get into a lot of the character's backstory and everything. And one of the characters takes Arthur to the beach and goes, "Isn't the ocean so lovely?" And Arthur goes, "I've only known it as a source of attack.
This
I've
is
only
true.
known as a weakness of my land.
Because it's Igla's surrounded by ocean, yeah.
Yes. And so he's like, it's nice just being able to be a regular girl and enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, obviously back then they couldn't have a queen ruling them with a sword.
So they pretended to be a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I know. But look, this is Japan.
And he also gets into how some of the Knights of the Round Table didn't like how he ran things.
Checks out, yeah.
And so,
So are the rest of the round table in there as well?
yes.
Oh.
Fate Zero specifically.
All of them?
Yes.
Do they have
Well,
their powers?
not all of them are in Fate Zero. They're in different things, but they've got different abilities. And they've also got different classes depending on how you bring them back. For example, Lancelot in Fate Zero is the Berserker.
Really?
That's
Becau-
dangerous.
Well, he also gets triggered every time he sees Arthur because Arthur's the cause of his madness. Because Arthur had Guinevere, but Lancelot always desired her.
I mean,
That checks. That's a well-written introduction between the
Lancelot
two of
exists because of a French fan fiction.
them. Yep, but that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
All of
But-
these are fan fiction when you think about it. Myths are early
So
fan
is the
fic.
Holy Grail.
Yeah.
It only exists because of a King Arthur sequel.
Really?
That's
That's brilliant.
not part of the Christian canon.
Oh, Christian canon, no, but that's fine. Like, we
Canon.
you're now a Christian.
Tchaikovsky, yes.
So, okay.
Who has the Christian canon?
Actually, that would probably be Napoleon.
Hey, yes.
Is Napoleon a girl?
What did they
Napoleon's a man. He is a big, beefy man.
Is he a berserker?
No, he's an archer.
That may...
do? Okay, no, I need to see this. Show me.
I love Napoleon.
Show me
Okay.
Napoleon.
He's actually one of my favorite to use.
Also, something worth mentioning is that everyone says Napoleon was short. He's
No,
not.
He was very average size for the time. Yes. Yeah, that was British propaganda leaflets. They're like, look at this small man.
He does have a cannon. He's not even kidding.
Okay, that's
It's a literal cannon
Strapped to his arm.
that is not Manpolion. That is Chadpolion. And he's awesome.
Oh, his upgraded versions are cool.
His upgraded version is just you can see
He
my
only
chest.
gets cooler.
He does.
Like, legitimately.
I dig him. That's cool.
You know what? Yeah, I'm actually getting pretty interested in Fate now.
I like the golden cannon.
Yeah, if you have any interest in history or myths, look up your favorite person and Fate Go, and then come join me.
All right,
Yeah.
H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft himself isn't in there. However, Abigail Williams is his representative. She summons Cthulhu,
As in,
and she has the key to madness.
the Summer and Santa versions of her.
Oh my god, what the?
She's also a lolly.
Yeah, I've just discovered that.
It's
I was going to say, at least she's not pervy, and then I saw an alternate form, and I'm like, oh dear.
Her final ascension, she's supported by tentacles of Cthulhu. And
Yeah,
she just floats.
I just found it.
Yeah.
Holy cow. On that note, some of the we were talking about Pokemon fusions in the pre-show. There are some Pokemon fusions that are based off Fate Go characters.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, and Abigail Williams is one of them. There is a Gardevoir who has the dark tentacles around her.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think
don't
it's.
say tentacles.
I
in
think you
relation.
combine her with an unknown, and it does that.
Oh, I was going to say Giratina.
Giratina would be cool. Be wings, I
Yeah.
reckon. We're gonna play Fate. Not Fate.
We're going to play Fate.
We're gonna play Fate, and we're also gonna play Pokemon.
We're gonna play Fate Fusion. Oh no!
Oh dear.
No.
No,
No.
that'd be bad. Pokemon Ultimate Fusion. If you haven't read about it or seen it, have a look. It's really good. Anyway, back
It's
to
a
this. Okay, so let's get back to the whole summoning thing. So you go in, you as one of the 7. Is there a ritual you conduct yourself, or is there a
Yes.
meeting?
No, it's a ritual you conduct yourself because all the masters remain a mystery from each other.
Okay.
So that way you also don't know what they've summoned. The only person who is in contact with everybody is the church who runs the Holy Grail War.
Okay, and how do people get to know this ritual? Is there a book or something?
So it's usually so the 3 primary families know the ritual. Other people, because mages from the Mage Association know about this, so they also can do the ritual because they've learned and it's in their textbooks and stuff. That's how we get Velvet Waver from Fate Zero.
Hell of a name.
How we get Lord El Malloy from Fate Zero.
Which now has a spin-off detective series.
Because Lord El Malloy is a title, not an actual name, and it's
It's like being the Lord of Camelot. It's a title bestowed upon a person.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a part of the major society hierarchy.
Oh, I'm back to the glasses now.
Yeah, that's what you wanted. Those 3 words together. Major society hierarchy.
I've been doing reading on a separate game which has basically the same thing. If anyone's aware of like the 90s Mage the Ascension game,
Same thing.
very similar, and it's a lot of books, a lot of noise.
So we've got obviously the 3 main families as the core aspects. Then we also have the church, and then we also have the Mage Association. Are there any other factions?
No.
No. Okay, so those are the core factions.
Those are the core
and then
factions.
there's individuals
And then
as
there's individuals. And in Fate's Stay Night, you learn that certain heroes or servants can also summon servants.
well.
For example, Caster summons her own assassin
Huh.
so that she can participate in the Holy Grail War.
Wait, so
Right.
the summon can summon summons?
Yes.
Well,
If she performs the ritual and does it in time, where no other heroes have been claimed, yes.
Interesting.
and can only 7 heroes be claimed?
Only 7 heroes can be
So
claimed.
if you were the first person to summon a hero, and your hero then immediately summons someone else might miss out.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
But then you have to supply additional mana.
right.
Because the heroes are materialized using the master's mana.
So only the most
how is mana regained? mana potions?
So there are natural ley lines through Fuyuki, which is the main city it takes place in.
Okay.
But also to connect with your servant and replenish mana, you can be physically intimate with them.
Hot.
So, like, that's great if it's a female servant.
Hey Hercules.
Who is the greatest gladiator? Hercules.
Well, that's the thing. Berserkers typically take a lot more mana because they're so angry and impulsive, they just burn it all.
They're tanky, yes.
So
So
often
if you
they're
get a
harder to
berserker
manage.
and you're a male summoner, find a ley line.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Because otherwise you are going to be the twink.
Who is the greatest gladiator?
Well, no, because like you can just naturally channel it through to them.
Oh,
but if
okay.
they've used a lot of mana and you need to get them full of mana very quickly, that's the way to do
Yeah,
it.
so it's physical contact. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be R-rated or X-rated,
I mean, the more
But-
it is, the better transfers.
but you could be giving your
A little
berserker
kiss on the forehead.
a massage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Who decided that that was the only way to regain mana? The Japanese.
It's not the only way to regain mana.
but it is the easiest.
It's the easiest and quickest.
Yes, to be intimate with the ley line as well, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, just like naturally transfer.
Yeah,
It's like
but
a
obviously you've
constant-
got to gain your own as well.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. Which you get through like food and like just natural energy.
Do the summons? So the summons are technically people. So you're technically resurrecting people.
Yes. So this is a fun thing. So, for example, summoning King Arthur. King Arthur wouldn't know anything about jets, cars, guns, etc., correct?
Yeah.
Incorrect. The Holy Grail fills them with that knowledge. It also teaches them the local languages.
Actually, this was a thing in the abridged thing. Saber starts basically talking in modern hip lingo and has no control over it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you're being brought into modern times, you need to understand how to engage in modern times. Like, they buy them modern clothes so that they can, like,
Yeah.
sneak around in public. And obviously, like, if your servant's going to be engaging with stuff, they need to be a modern member of society. Like, Saber drives a car in Fate Zero. She drives a jet in Fate Zero.
Flies a jet,
Flies a jet.
unless she didn't leave the tarmac, and then
No, she
she'd definitely
did.
drive it.
And so, like, they get all the knowledge they need. And, like, obviously then some, because who really knows how to fly a jet?
Yeah.
An actual jet, not a simulated one.
Damn.
Chris. Our friend Chris was a pilot for a while.
Yeah,
got a
but
getaway
see, that's
driver.
like
Yay.
1 of 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like,
In the best odds.
I mean, I'd say it's higher odds than that. It's like 1 in 10.
Yeah. But, like, using the current situation as an example.
So yeah, but like it makes sense. Like, so they're essentially reborn. They have their memories. They have the additional content to participate in this world. So how does the war then play out?
So the war, if you kill the servant's no longer in the battle. However, the master can be taken to the church and held there just to remain safe in case like of anything happening to them outside of it.
Yeah.
But also, if the master dies and the servant lives, the servant can be reallocated to a different master.
Oh.
Which is why the church takes them in.
Right.
So that they can continue to be a part of the war if anything happens to a different master. So that happens a lot, actually.
So going into the Holy Grail War, there is a chance that you, as the master, could die.
Yes.
And there's also a chance that the summons could die, but then obviously they can be reanimated for the next round.
Yes.
But you can chess this whole thing. Like, if you kill someone else's master and you happen to have been one of the ones that summoned two servants, then you could possibly end up with 3.
No.
No?
Because it'll select from a list of other viable masters in the area.
To keep it balanced.
Yes.
So then you kill them.
I mean, yeah, but then you just win the war.
Yes.
No, Kenny, you're basically saying mass genocide.
If it means granting a wish, maybe.
But with all that effort, wouldn't it be easier just to kill the 7 servants as opposed to millions of people?
Oh, wait. So when you say it's reallocated, you mean to a new master who is a potential mage?
Wait, to any rando? Mm-hmm. Oh.
Okay, that's not what we thought you
Not
meant.
within the 7.
No,
Oh,
no
okay.
going Herod on them, no.
Yeah, no, okay, no. So what you're saying is if, like, say us 3 are 3 of the randos and I die, my summon could then potentially be sent to Emma or Tifa who aren't already in the war.
Yes.
Wow.
As long as they've got the abilities to be a mage, the crests will appear on their hand with however many are left, the command seals.
Okay.
Command seals are the name, not
there you
crests.
What determines who has potential to be a mage?
Mana.
So their actual base mana level.
Yes.
And they might not even be aware that they have any.
Yes.
The segs.
Sure. Okay, so so you've got to kill the summons
Yes.
to win the war.
Yes.
And you have to be the last master and summon standing.
You have to be the last master standing?
You've got to sacrifice your summon as well.
Yes, because the Holy Grail requires 7 servants to be sacrificed in order to gain the wish.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And how do they prevent someone showing up to it?
They can't. Like, if you've been in the war and, like, all the other servants are dead, you can go grab the grail and make the wish.
Oh, okay. So, but what if someone else... Well, for argument's sake, I'm the only one left with my saber, for argument's sake. Everyone else is dead, but you're also participating. Your berserker's dead, but you go and grab the grail because everyone is dead.
Yeah.
Oh! So it doesn't matter who did it, it's who gets there first.
It's just the last one standing.
Well, that's why the war was created, because anyone could use it.
That's diabolical.
Crazy.
Okay.
Also how Zero ends.
Yeah.
I kind of dig it.
Okay, so what happens is the war comes around at 60 years. Three
If
people,
everything goes correctly, it's
Yeah.
60
Wait
years.
a second, this is just a death game anime.
Yes.
Ah!
But with, like,
3 people die.
ancient myths.
Sorry, 3 people from the families are elected. 4 randos are elected. All of them summon all of them summon a servant. The servants all battle. The servants all die bar 1, and then a servant is sacrificed at the end to the Holy Grail. That's the safest way to ensure you would get the wish.
Yes. Quite often what the tactic is, the last master standing still has a command seal and commands their servant to commit suicide.
Right.
Oof, rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very rough.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then the cycle starts again, in theory, provided nothing unusual has happened. No one said made their wish to make it happen again in 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So that's Fate in a nutshell.
That's Fate in a nutshell.
Okay. And the best way to experience it is to go to Fate Stay Night, then go to Fate Zero, then to Unlimited Bladeworks, and then to Heaven's Feel.
If you're feeling spicy. You don't have to watch Heaven's Feel.
Where does Apocrypha and the others fit into this? Are they spin-offs or separate timelines?
They're all separate timelines, separate worlds sort of thing.
Okay.
You'll see a lot of the same characters though, because again, Saberface, Redface, Sakura face.
Yeah.
But it won't actually be them.
Right. They'll just give them different names or
Yeah.
say it's, this isn't Saber, this is Red Saber, who's the dad of Saber, and, making things a mess.
Yeah. So Fate Apocrypha is the Holy Grail War happens between 2 families. And so you'll have all of the classes of red and all of the classes of black.
Okay. So, black and red in, cards.
Yeah. and then they go to war and they battle, and
And each
the
side
winning
has 7.
family gets to make the wish.
Okay. And I'm guessing same rules. Once all of the opposing teams' 7 souls have been killed, there are 7 souls in the chalice, and you can go for it.
Yep.
Okay. And there's a magical girl one?
Fate Prisma Iliad.
Okay.
That follows. So
just think of, these are not ones you want to watch unless you're deeply into Fate.
well, it's hard to find the first season of Prisma Iliad.
Oh, okay.
The second season's everywhere, and the third season's quite common as well. But the first season's impossible to find. But basically, Archer gets turned into a girl and a lot younger, and it follows the story of her, as well as the young girl who calls Shirou her older brother.
Oh,
and
who's
they're magical
from
girls.
Zero?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, from Stay Night.
Oh, okay.
She controls Berserker, who's Hercules.
Oh, right.
Yes,
yeah.
but this is a completely alternate timeline where she's just a magical girl.
Okay, so basically what's happened is you've got the core Fate series, which is based on the game, and then you've got
The visual novel.
Fan fiction.
but basically spin-offs to do like I remember that Nisekoi did a magical girl spin-off, for instance, for a joke.
Yeah.
And these seem like they're going, okay, how can we reinvent this in a way for a different audience type?
Yeah, basically they're taking their belongings and going, oh, we could do this with it, we could do that with it. Like, they're just pitching out different ideas. It's not necessarily tied to the main idea. It's just like, oh, hey, we can use these mechanics in that, or we could bring those characters in for this, because people liked these characters, so we'll get more of them on the screen. Because Prisma Iliad, the magical girl thing, is they can channel different classes into their magical girl transformation. So they can be Saber, Archer, Caster, etc.
Okay, so that's how they're implementing the class system for it.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, well, look, I'll have something up on the screen for those who are watching on YouTube, but the order of watching is actually just the release order, because that way you learn the overarching story and then have the background and then the alternative routes.
Well, it's just like Star Wars.
Yeah, watch them in the war they were released. It makes more sense. But yeah, awesome. Well, look, if you want to watch Fate, it is on Crunchyroll worldwide. It's also
Some of it.
Some of it is. Some of it's on Netflix in some regions. Some of it's on Amazon in some regions. You might have to jump between different platforms to
Is
find it all.
everything about this complicated?
Yeah. Well, no, that's just the complicated world of streaming, and they wonder why piracy is
I'm
on the
going
rise
back to
again.
piracy.
Let me tell you about the video games. You start in a school on the moon.
Why?
Well, in Fate Stay Night.
No, not the visual novel game, but the spin-off games.
Oh, okay. The PlayStation Vita one and PS2 ones?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Enhanced version. Fate Stay Night Real to Nua.
Why is it on the moon, and how is that?
Because everything anime's on the moon, Kenny.
Why is the moon?
Moon, people! Moon!
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Tonight on Anime Communique.
Great story, compelling and rich.
Nothing brings ratings up like a little controversy.
So tell me about Mordred.
Mordred is the son, who is also a woman, who hates Arthur.
Okay.
Everyone hates Arthur.
Poor
Why?
Because Arthur was a terrible king.
That is false.
But in this timeline, it's not. Because
This is a bad timeline.
it's a bad timeline. We're living in
Dumb
the worst timeline. Anime news time. Look, we could actually do Who's That Pokemon for Fate all day, and we might do a special for that once we got
Henry
some time.
V.
There's a surfing Mordred.
Surfing Mordred. Is this Pokemon now?
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
Okay, anime news. This time we don't really have any major controversies. The news has kind of been a little bit quiet.
They gender swapped Ash.
But there have actually been 2 deaths that we need to talk about. So
no.
the first one is voice actor Ken Shirayama. He died of natural causes at 92. He was the voice of Abizo in Naruto Shippuden.
Yeah.
He also was Dr. Misel in the 1998 Spriggan movie, and he was in some Senshi shows as well. His Japanese dubs, he was in, do you remember 24 with Kiefer Sutherland? And it's like, there was 24 hours and that was the principle of it.
Crime, yeah.
He dubbed Mike Novich, who was like one of the villains, I believe, in it for the Japanese dub.
Wicked.
He also was Eustace in Courage the Cowardly Dog. This guy
Stupid dog.
has an incredible range. He had a lot of a lot of roles in Transformers, Balford in Rambo, Earl
So
McGaw in From
basically,
Dusk
he
Till
has
Dawn.
that kind of like powerful, deep
voice.
listen to me voice.
So yeah, I can't remember who Ebizo was in Naruto Shippuden. I'm going to quickly pull that up, but I believe he was a villain. He was the old man. He was the old man from the council.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That dude there.
The
Droopy
grandpa.
eyebrows man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was like, I remember him not being important.
yeah, look, yeah, fair.
Wait, was he the council guy or was that the samurai guy?
No, he was the council guy for Sand.
Oh, right.
Like his sister was the one who did all the old stuff. But yeah, he's passed away, unfortunately. So obviously, deep respects to him. Also, the French voice actor for Vegeta has passed away as well. So to our friends who grew up watching in France, because France got a lot of Dragon Ball before we did. France and Italy, for those unaware, got a lot more of Japanese anime before the rest of the West did, the English-speaking West, because
It's a weird history.
yeah, it's really fascinating. Basically, when the European Union was set up, they didn't have a lot of money for in-house productions for kids' TV shows. So at that time, Japan was going through economic crisis. It was really cheap to buy Japanese shows. So they bought them and dubbed them themselves and then reshared them across the EU with their translation and just retranslated them. And that kept the cost down.
Le garlic gun.
The garlic gun.
I want to be La Super Saiyan.
So look, for anyone who did grow up watching
And just
that...
Vegeta and Wario. Wario and Vegeta.
Yeah.
Waluigi Goku.
Oh god. Anyway, anyone who did grow up watching it, obviously this will probably be sad news for yourself. And obviously we don't like sharing the news of people passing away. But the good news is there's no major controversies over the past 4 weeks that we've found, which is crazy.
That is very unusual.
Across the whole anime industry, that's...
Look, don't get me wrong. Like, we're about to head into a new season. I guarantee Sony's going to do something. So
Just wait.
It's coming. It's coming.
Gonna do it.
Sony, can you stop and perish?
So let's go on to like what's happening in upcoming anime. So firstly, ReZero's 4th season has been confirmed for 2026. 3rd season's just about to come to an end, I believe, and it's going to continue on. They've announced new cast and all that. Apparently, if you're watching it now and without doing any spoilers, there's a lot of new information that's happened, like a lot of background to characters that's happened. So we know how old some of these people actually are now in their histories. So like the deep lore is finally getting
Are we
answered.
getting prequels now?
No.
Is this turning into a new Fate?
No.
Are they
This is-
gender swapping the main character?
Kenny, it already has 0 in the title.
They can't go -1. Only Godzilla's allowed to do that.
ReZero
So next we're getting Restay Night.
Restay night. So anyway, let's move on from that. Sakamoto Day's second half is premiering on July 14. So they are starting a little later in the season, but I believe that is another full run as well, which is going to be fantastic.
Sakamoto Days has been fun.
Yeah, that'll probably be another 11 episodes, so we'll see how that goes.
I still want them to do a crossover Sakamoto Days and Spy Family.
Oh, I know. It'll be so good.
So dumb, but I
and
love
we've
it.
got finally some proper details on the new Ranma Half's 2nd season. So it's getting an advanced screening and a live dub event on June 22nd in Japan. So they're having the cast on stage dubbing it live. Yeah, for this special event, for a Ranma event.
Dangerous. And I mean,
Yeah.
Ranma's pretty funny. That can go...
So I think that means we will be getting season 2 in July. I hope so. That'll be fantastic.
If it's the second half, does that mean it's finally Ranma whole?
No. No. All right. Now,
Don't say that again.
so we're gonna we've got quite a lot of things that have happened in the manga world. So Go Loser Rangers manga has gone on another hiatus due to the creator's health. It's scheduled to return in June, but it is a weekly. Is it a weekly manga? I believe it is. So it's going to skip.
that would affect
It's
your
going
health.
to skip. I think about 4 issues. Ruri Dragon manga, which is quite a popular slice of life one about a girl who's a dragon, is going on hiatus as well. She's like a dragon girl who is at school. It returned from its 2022 hiatus in April 2024. It's been running for about a year, and now it's going back on a hiatus for like 2 months till July. If you haven't heard of it, it is the story of a young dragon girl being lazy, doing her best, and being lazy again.
Oh, she's adorable.
Yeah, it's really cute. And she is in school and everyone's fine with her being a dragon. And there's this really goofy scene from one of the recent chapters where she's like, I figured out ice form, jumps on the table and goes, shape of a hedgehog, and she looks like Sonic the Hedgehog with ice. It's really good. Blooming Love manga is taking a 3-chapter break. This is a relatively new slice of life romance one.
This is also adorable.
It's a school one. It's one day I was making school supplies in the art room. A very scary looking girl was staring at me. Craft girl versus art boy romantic comedy.
Is that the title?
No, it's Blooming Love.
Okay, good.
Yeah, come on.
Thank you.
Craft girl versus art boy.
The Devil is a Part-Timer manga has finally ended. 24th volume is the last volume. It's slated to release in June. And these 3 I'm a bit disappointed by. So One Punch Man is taking a break for 2 months. My point is One Punch Man has not been releasing regularly. It has been all over the shop. We had 3 chapters in the past year. So saying it's taking a 2-month break is like, you already were.
You're already on a break. How are you taking more break?
I don't mind if they're taking a break. Like One Punch Man and Made in the Abyss update so rarely. And I'm sitting there going, guys, you have fantastic stories and dedicated fan bases. I understand that, both of you don't necessarily have the best of health, but 4 chapters in a year is kind of a joke. So look, I know I'm preaching to the choir with Hunter x Hunter here.
Yeah.
And I've got another one which I'm upset about. Battle Angel Alita's manga. So they ended, so we've had Battle Angel Alita,
It's
Battle
still
Angel
going?
Last Order, Battle Angel Alita Mars Chronicles, which is the past, explaining the origins of Mars, because it is a multiplanetary
Is this
society at this time. No, it's all chronological. It does make sense if you're reading it, but they just kind of stopped it halfway through and went, we're going to release a new one, and we're going to call it the New Panzerkunst Chronicles, which is the fighting style. It's all based on German. It's a thing.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, but this was meant to start immediately after the other one ended. It's now, it's delayed to spring next year. What? So, yeah.
We're going to get GTA 6 before we get Battle Angel Alita.
I know, right? And there's 2 others which I didn't really know about. Both are dystopian sci-fi sort of things. So there is Moon River of Watate. That has come to an end.
The moon!
Is it set on the moon?
It's a dystopian sci-fi manga centered on high school girl Manatsu, and the trouble she gets in with one of her casual photographs end up showing something that should not be seen in their society. I believe it's an alien. So, yeah. Soon she ends up having an encounter with the outside world, which will upend her world entirely. So, I don't know the context of it, but I'm fascinated. It's only been running for a year, and it's just had its 2nd volume published, so I'm a bit disappointed.
That sounds
because
somewhat intriguing.
I've only just discovered it, and now it's already ending. And this one actually leads into what we're doing for next episode, the Crusher Joe Rebirth manga, which is... So Crusher Joe was an anime and novel series in the 80s. And it's having a manga adaptation, which is like a modernization of the story.
Okay.
That has been on hiatus for 3 years. It's coming back. So we think it's the perfect time to visit the Crusher Joe film from 1983. It's a true retro classic, and it is full of meme content. It's great.
What's the, what kind of an anime is this?
The galaxy is a strange and dangerous place. There are even times when the United Space Force can't help, and that's where the Crushers come in. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Skilled troubleshooters who will deal with any problem, large or small, for a fee, large only. And there is no better crusher than Crusher Joe. It is space pirates, basically, who are willing to do whatever you want.
Okay, I'm in.
The series began in manga in 1979. It then was adapted by Sunrise in 1983 as a film and a 1989 video project OVA. They are both available on Anime Go, who did the release in North America. Look, this is going to be great. It's going to be a heck of a time capsule. It's very, very cheesy, very old school sci-fi. I think it's going to be a good laugh to have a look at. So we're going to do that, and then it's the new season. So yeah. And that kind of covers it for the news and even next episode preview. So I guess we should wrap up.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
And for context, that's 4 weeks of news. Wow, that's how quiet it's been. Like, there hasn't been really anything massive that's come in there. If there has, please drop it in the comments section. We do tend to miss them, and sometimes it's hard to filter through everything. Like, a prime example, like the French voice actor passing away wasn't on Anime News Network at all.
Wow.
It's just like, oh, okay. But yeah, as we said, next time it is Crusher Joe, the 1983 time capsule of silliness. I think it runs for about an hour and a half, so it's very easy to smash out and have a good giggle with.
I do.
If you have enjoyed what you've you've heard. We'd love you to hit that subscribe button. Join us for future episodes. This episode, there is Saberface hidden behind the subscribe button. If you would like Saberface, press it and do the thing, and you will get a Saberface.
So it's like Titan face,
but except permanent. Like it's like the whole when the wind changed gag from when we were kids. If you are listening on YouTube, hit the like button. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. If you've watched Fate and you've got some thoughts on it and things you liked or didn't like, or warnings for people, avoiding spoilers obviously. Like don't watch this series before you've watched that. Or
tell
so
us
on.
your favorite Fate stand in the comments.
Yeah, your Fate stand.
They're stand users.
Yeah. There's a YouTube edition. We've got pictures on that and dedicated videos obviously on the YouTube channel. Last episode we did some extra Beyblading afterwards. It was the episode before that, but yeah, it was good.
I watched that.
It was good fun. We're not becoming a Beyblade channel, but like if there's we could. But if there's content we can do which connects with the extra videos we can do very easily, we're going to try and pump them out a bit more.
Join the pre-show to hear some ideas we had today.
Yeah, so as always, big thank you to our Patreon members. And if you want to support the channel and get access to additional content, such as the pre-show and exclusive podcast episodes, outtakes, video extras, links are in the episode description. Start from $1 a month. Big shout out to our Patreons who've been supporting us for a long time. Like, we really appreciate you guys.
Thanks.
We do this because we love it, not for money. So if you can't afford it, it's okay. Don't worry. But there is incentives there if you want more Kawaii-Fi.
No, we demand your money, in fact. We need all of it.
Now, I
must pay for more copies.
I mean, yeah, look, if you would like to contribute to our coffee fund, by all means. But we should also mention HoshiCon 2025 is coming up later this year. We will be in attendance. We will be on stage doing our anime quiz. If you are in Perth, Western Australia, please keep an eye out for it. Make sure you visit Hoshi's events social media channels. They're on everything. We will be there. We're good friends with the Hoshi crew. I've worked with them for quite a while, and now I'm coming in just as a contractor, I guess. An entertainer. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be a great event. We always have fun at Hoshi's events anyway, and I say that both as someone who's promoted it and worked with them, and then also just attended as well. So
we're all just shilling for them.
We are shilling, but we want them to be successful because they care about the community, and that's part of the reason they started. It was like we started Hoshi during COVID, because Perth didn't have the lockdowns anywhere else had. So we were the first convention after COVID lockdowns were lifted. And it was amazing. It was
pretty crazy.
It was so good seeing the community come together. So yeah, on that note, if you want to join the Kawaii-Fi community, socials, we're on them. We don't post very often, but it will let you know when the next episodes are up and any goofy extras we come up with. And previews. There's always previews.
Previews are fun.
Previews are getting fancier. Yeah, but that's kind of it where we're going to wrap up. Next time, Crusher Joe, probably jokes galore, and
Joe Mama.
Joe Mama for sure. Joe Mama's so fat she's in space.
Joe Mama required 2 crushes.
She's on both sides of the family.
Oh, God. Anyway, with that, we're going to wrap up. You've been listening to Kawaii-Fi Radio. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, what's the
Your mama's so fat she broke a branch on the family tree.
Oh, no!